is going on, family? Welcome back to the next episode. Um, for starters, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know when videos come out. Also, if you get a chance to, make sure you check out my Patreon page, because there you can get perks that involve getting discounts on my website, as well as getting being able to see these videos one to 2 days before they actually get released to YouTube. So, check it out. See if you find a tier that you like, and if you do, hook a brother up, help a brother out. Anyway, so it's been a couple of weeks, roughly, since my last video. A lot of things have happened in that time, so I feel like you guys deserve some updates. I have to apologize for my kind of demeanor at the moment because things have been a little frustrating as of late in regards to being able to get around and handle things like I want to handle things outside of the bus. So a slight bit frustrated, a slight bit peeved. So that might come out in the video. I'm just going to be upfront with you guys and let you know that I'm, not in the best of moods right now. But I'm still going to make it happen. I'm still going to do this video and let y'all know what's going on. So, long story incredibly short, I've made some pretty decent strides as far as things that I wanted to accomplish with finishing up the bus in general. Well, not necessarily finishing up, but finishing up this stage. As I've mentioned before, I'm coming back for the floors later and whatnot. Anyway, getting things laid out, set up, and basically quote-unquote furnished in terms of the buses being concerned. I've made some pretty solid strides in regards to that. So I got some pictures and videos that I'm going to be uploading here, but basically the process that I'm in the middle of right now is moving some things out of here as far as like material and supplies and whatnot, so that I have more room to maneuver in general, as well as be able to place things where I need them to be placed. Because I ran into basically the issue of feeling a bit cramped and low on space because I'm building things in certain places and then moving the supplies that I have sitting in the bus waiting to be, turned into things, shifting it from here to there, then back over here, over that way, so on and so forth, as I'm building other things and putting things in place. So, I got the bright idea, might as well use some of the space that's sitting in my shop, not necessarily empty, but it's open. I technically need the space for access to other things, but I'm not really dealing with that stuff that much as of late. So I don't really have to access that area anywhere near as much as I used to, like 4 or 5 months ago. So I have decided to basically just turn that into temporary storage. So I'm moving items out of the bus that are not directly in relation to what I'm working on in the bus, and then bringing a few things from the shop into the bus, so that I can get myself more acclimated, into the bus as far as just general usage, hanging out, so on and so forth. So, like I said, I got a few videos, a few pictures here and there, but I've done a rudimentary makeshift table. I only call it rudimentary because it's kind of like a random idea that I was like, let me try this and see if it works, and it happened to work. So I'm actually filming from that table right now. But it's basically comprised of grid cubes. For those who don't know, grid cubes are basically the things you can get like at Walmart and whatnot. The big box stores where you have the connectors and the little squares of grids that are made out of metal, and you connect the squares with the connectors, and you can make little cubbies and whatnot for being able to store stuff. I've got hooked up with a really sweet deal on a boatload of those, so I got the whole boatload and started utilizing those to build things in the bus. The table being one of them. The cool thing about it is I haven't taken any video footage of this yet, but I will bring it up at a later point in time when I break down some of the things that I have built in here. But it's basically technically foldable. The cubes are kind of hinged together in a way where there's some quick release pieces that I can just take off and basically fold them up and be able to lay them flat for storage purposes. So the table is literally a temporary table, and I can fold up the parts and put it away, and it takes up, if it's like leaning against the wall or something, it takes up floor space of probably about 14 inches by about 4, maybe 5, maybe. So real small when it's out of the way. Which is one of the things that was important to me, because being able to have furniture that's easy to put away and secure while the bus is in motion is very important. So yeah, there's that. Then also towards the back, pretty much one of the biggest projects that I've done in the bus so far. I basically took a good portion of those same squares and basically built an entire storage space. Right behind the kitchen area where the cabinets are is where it begins. And starting out, there's a closet, obviously for hanging my clothes in. There's a small closet that I built. Then next to that, there's a series of cubby holes that are about 3 tall by about 4. Actually, no, 5 wide. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 tall by 5 wide, or 3 tall. Excuse me, by 5 wide. As well as being 2 sections deep. Of just cubby holes where I can store all the things that I need to store for just general use. I kind of got things organized, but I'm still in the early stages of actually organizing the entire space. But I've got like kitchen supplies in there. I've got bathroom supplies in there. I've got a few personal supplies, hygiene items, so on and so forth. But basically, it's going to be the primary storage space inside the bus for general items that I will be utilizing. I'm still in the process of working on it, so there will be not that. Well, I'm still working on that, but not in the frame of reference I'm speaking of right now. I'm in the midst of building another smaller section that's specifically going to be designed for the bathroom/toilet area. That's going to be probably a 2 wide by 4 tall section that's only 1 square. It's like 14 by 14 inches, but anyway, 1 square piece deep, which is going to be primarily bathroom supplies. I may actually, because the location is within arm's reach of the kitchen area, I may do one side bathroom supplies, the other side kitchen supplies. We'll see how I feel. It totally depends on how things play out once I actually get it built and in place. So, but I've got a few other ideas as far as utilizing these cubes. I literally got a good amount of them. So there's plenty of opportunity and chance for me to be able to make many things. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's generally new. Other than that, I've started accumulating crates for the overhead storage towards the back, which is visible in one of the videos, and I think maybe one of the pictures that I took of the progress so far. But one of the cool things that I intend on pointing out with that setup with the cubby holes or the cubby spaces for the storage is that one area in particular I decided to be a little what's the word I'm looking for, adventurous with the utilization of the space. So that one particular square is actually divided into 3 sections, so it's 3 smaller spaces inside of the one big square. Basically, somewhere to be able to put smaller stuff that, smaller stuff and longer stuff, just to kind of divide the space a little bit better, just for general organizational purposes. If there was a way that I could actually break it up into like a 9 by 9 kind of thing where it was smaller squares that were deep, I would go that route, but I don't really have anything on hand I can pull that off without actually cutting up some of these cubes, and I don't want to go through all of that. That's more work than necessary. But I'm pretty proud of the overall structure. It's about 52, I believe, 52 inches high and about 7 feet in length. And of course 28 inches in depth. I still gotta remove some brackets that are on the walls behind it so that I can actually lay it flush against the wall. And the other nice thing about it is that it actually blocks external access from one of the windows. So I have a curtain up in front of that window, but technically speaking, because of the height, the curtain is still technically accessible. I just have to reach over the structure in order to get to it, but that's neither here nor there. It sticks out a little bit farther than I wanted to, but that's because the brackets are in the way. Once I move those brackets, I will be able to shift it back so that it is as flush as possible with the back wall, or the side wall, I should say. That's the other nice thing about it. Given its size and as much stuff as I've already crammed into the thing, it's still generally light enough to be able to be shifted and moved into the position that I need it once I get everything as I need it to be. So that's going to make things very simple and functional for later down the line. The other cool thing about it is it literally goes from the back of the kitchen area all the way to just on the opposite side, or just on the back side of the wheel well. So I get to utilize that space in a way that I wanted to anyway in regards to general storage. I'm guaranteed to have enough pieces to be able to do something similar on the opposite side, but I don't think I need that much storage. Given all the overhead storage I have, given that section of storage as well, and the essential shelving that's on top of that space, that is between the milk crates and essentially the top of that structure, I've got a decent amount of storage. So I'm gonna keep the pieces that I got that are excess, because I can do other things like in my shop and whatnot with them. But I may hold off on building more storage on the opposite side of the bus, just in case, because I don't think I'm going to need it. I think I feel more comfortable trying to turn that into maybe space for extra seating in the back, or something along those lines. Still working out kinks as far as what I want to do with that as of right now, but we'll see how it plays out. Aside from that, I'm doing a little bit of experimenting with the back section as far as the sleeping area is concerned. As of right now, I am playing with the idea of trying to set up a hammock and seeing how that concept works out. The thing that I basically realized with trying to build a quote-unquote regular bed type of setup, even if it is like retractable or whatever, so it can also be a seat, the comfort level isn't as high as I want it to be. It could just be the materials that I'm working with. Still trying to figure that out. But my comfort level is pretty low when it comes to just sitting in that spot and being in that spot for a long period of time. So, it's part of the reason that I decided to look into the whole hammock idea, because I realized that I'm way more comfortable in seating that is not solid. It's more of like, not necessarily specifically a hammock kind of setup, but designed in a way where there's some type of fabric that is spread across a space that I'm sitting in the middle of. So I'm basically being cradled by whatever material that I'm working with. A lot of camping chairs are designed that way. The foldable ones, the fabric is basically stretching from left to right when you're seated in it, and it cradles you in that space. I find those chairs way more comfortable than chairs that have a solid base that I'm, stacking cushions on top of. Just those types, just after like 10, 15 minutes of sitting, they're not comfortable to me anymore. I start getting tailbone pains, so I'm not trying to, deal with that. So the smartest move is to look into the possibility of a hammock. So I got one, and now I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to set it up. Because it's definitely not friendly to the space, if you get what I'm saying. There's not really much there that I won't have to modify myself, like build a structure for the hammock to be able to hang from in order to utilize it. We'll see. I got a couple of ideas. I have plenty of material to work with. Specifically, the bed frames that you can see off to my left. But yeah, there are a lot of possibilities and opportunities with that. I just got to figure out what will work for me, brainstorm on the situation, and see what I can figure out. Because comfort is very important, especially when it comes to sleeping. If I cannot get comfortable, I just cannot get proper sleep, and that makes everything else very dysfunctional. So that's a problem I need to solve sooner rather than later. But yeah, I'm still in the midst of transferring things back and forth, and trying to make actual space in here so that I can move around and get more used to just being in here in general. I've been trying to spend most of my days in the bus, getting things done. Like I got the laptop down here, and I've been running that off of my battery setup, which has been working out for the most part pretty well. That's another thing that I wanted to mention, which has worked out pretty nicely. I do have pictures showing the setup in general, but I had mentioned it before, with utilizing the two batteries to swap back and forth, while one's charging, the other one I'm using to either charge up my devices or power my laptop or what have you. Apologies for that noise. Anyway, cool thing on that note is the setup that I have been working with has been working out very well, and it's a nice preview to what I'm going to do once I get the solar panels up. But I've got a single 100 watt panel that I actually pretty much just have sitting on the roof of the bus right now, which I have it wired through the emergency hatch in the back, and it's kind of sitting on the lip of the emergency hatch, so I can't lose track of it. I can easily see it. If the weather gets wonky enough for me to feel like I need to bring it in, I can. Or if I feel like a storm that's big enough is coming in and I want to be preemptive about it, I can bring it in. But anyway, but it's sitting on the roof, catching the sunlight. Cables are coming in, going to the right side of the bus, where I basically have a little foldable table, TV tray table type of thing that I have the battery sit on, and whichever one, once one gets full, I basically swap that one out and put the other one in, regardless of how low the battery may happen to be. So I'm basically constantly topping them off, and it's been working pretty nicely. Other than the power hog that is the laptop, I haven't been trying much else yet. But I will be bringing other things down to experiment with that fall within the realm of what the inverter on these can handle, because they have 300 watt inverters. So any devices that I either semi-frequently use or consistently would like to use that are under the rating of 300 watts, well, at or under, because I'm pretty sure it has the surge protection up to 600, but I got to double check the documentation just to be safe. But yeah, anything under 300 watts that I semi-consistently or actually frequently would like to use, I want to bring down so that I can start slowly migrating the concept of using things that are powered by electricity down here, just to see what my overall consumption is off of these batteries. Because what I've been doing is basically leaving the panel out there overnight on the roof, and whichever battery is the lowest, I plug in, and before I'm even waking up, the thing is already, well into getting charged for the day. So I believe it said that the process for charging from dead to full for these is about 7 hours, give or take. So with the fact that I'm constantly topping them off and keeping them from going anywhere below about 60%, it only takes a few hours for the thing to charge. So if I don't wake up till about 3 or 4 hours after sunrise, I'm pretty much good to go. That battery's charged. Overnight, I'm using the battery that has more power to charge like my cell phones and my tablet and whatnot. So they're usable for the next day. And it's been working out pretty nicely. It's been I haven't had a need to really plug up my cell phone or tablet in the shop in probably about a week and a half, so to speak, somewhere in there. But yeah, I've been trying to acclimate myself to being in the bus in general more frequently. So I've been trying to spend as much time as I can in here and testing out the ideas that I've come up with so far for being able to power things and run things and whatnot. I do still have to order some parts. I got the majority of my solar setup already on hand. I just need the batteries and the actual panels that are going to go on the roof. Luckily, I had a friend last weekend come up and visit, and they were kind enough to help me get measurements of the roof so that I can see how big a panel I can actually get on the roof. Because I want to do the biggest I can with the fewest number of physical panels as I can. It makes the most sense. It simplifies things as far as actual mounting is concerned. So once the time comes for me to actually either myself get up there and get some stuff done, or get the help of a friend or two to go up there and get some stuff done, I can mount them simply and quickly and be done with it, because I don't want an overly complicated setup up there. There's no reason for that. I just need it simple, straightforward, structurally sound, and at least half an inch or so, maybe even less, of space underneath for general cooling purposes. Excuse me. But yeah, that's pretty much all of that. Oh, and another cool thing that I got recently, received in the mail, I got some solar powered camping lights, which have been working out pretty well, actually. They came with their own little solar panels, so I've been, you'll see them in one of the pictures. Actually, you probably see them a little bit in the video too. They're hanging by where the hammock is currently hanging from the poles in the back. Anyway, I've got the solar panels sitting outside the bus on the roof next to the big solar panel for the batteries, but they charge independently, and then when the sun goes down, I just run those to power, to light up the bus basically. And it's nice because they're pretty bright. They're both 20-watt bulbs, pretty decent setup. And between the two of them, each one individually, when charged completely, is supposed to run for a good solid 8 hours. So I've been trying them out, and I don't think I've been able to get them to completely charge to full, because they get a little dim a little bit earlier than I expect them to. But overall, they've been pretty good to me. Like, I really, in most cases, at least with the time frame that the sun goes down currently, only really need about 4 or 5 hours of light at night under any circumstance before I'm pretty much done for the night, and close everything up. So the capacity that they have is more than I generally need. Now, when winter hits and the days get shorter, that may or may not become a problem. We will see. But the nice thing about that on the back end is the charge ports that are on those light bulbs are micro USB ports. So, worst case scenario, I can just charge them off of the bigger battery, or one of the bigger batteries, when the sun isn't all that great. And as long as I'm not, overdrawing the batteries while I'm swapping them back and forth and whatnot, I should be good to go, overall. So, yeah. That's primarily the majority of updates as of late. I still got a few things I want to figure out and try out in terms of how I want to set the bathroom up. I've already got my shower situations figured out. Just waiting on one or two more parts. I think just one at this point. One or two more parts so that I can finish building that entire setup. And then once I have everything in hand, I will actually show you guys what I came up with, because I think, given the circumstances, it's a pretty ingenious setup, and it's very functional and frugal. I think you guys will like it, and I would not be surprised if anybody else mimics the idea once they see it. But you trust me, you'll like it. So hopefully those parts will come in the next few days in the mail, so I can go ahead and get everything situated and test it out, and then take videos of that and let you guys know how it is. But yeah, that is pretty much all that I have for today. So thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to actually listen to me babble on per usual. I appreciate you guys. Again, make sure that you like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out my Patreon. And in the comment section, let me know what you think of the setup, because, I would love feedback, whether it be explaining how I can do something a little bit better, adding to what I already have, in terms of like design or layout or what have you, critiquing and letting me know that was stupid. You should completely change that, do something else. Here's what I think you should do. Even if I don't like the concept that you're telling me that I did something wrong, I'm still gonna at least check it out, because I'm curious, as to what people think and where their heads are with these concepts that I'm trying out. Because I'm just throwing together what makes sense to me off of how I think and how I function. And I know I'm a little bit outside of the box, but it's a blessing and a curse, but it's mostly a blessing, because it lets me create things in ways that people would not expect or come up with on themselves. And in a lot of cases, it allows me to do things that no one else would really think of. So, it's cool, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best way to do it when it comes to a lot of the stuff that I'm doing. So, let me know what you think. Let me know where you stand. Let me know, if you think I'm doing something wrong, or you think I can do it better. Let me know. I just want to hear what you guys got to say. Anyway, that's pretty much it. You guys have a good day, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Peace.